Hi guys, and welcome to my WWE Survivor Series 2020 review. So yes, last night we had a Survivor Series, the pay-per-view where Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head in direct competition, and also it was commemorating the 30th anniversary of The Undertaker. Yes, 30 years of the dead man, in a big ceremony which concluded the show, which I'll talk about at the end. But for now, I have 7 matches to talk about. So yes, let's get to it. So first match we had was on the pre-show. Yes, we had an 18-man dual-brand battle royal. Yes, mainly full of mid-carders, to be honest. So we had John Morrison, Rey Mysterio, Angel Garza, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Apollo Crews. Oh, you get the picture. It was about 12 minutes. It was entertaining. I don't remember that much what happened. Dominic Mysterio was doing really well. I mean, he thought he'd won towards the end. He eliminated Chad Gable, but then he thought he'd won. But then no, The Miz, because he wasn't properly eliminated. The Miz throughout Dominic Mysterio. I was like, yeah. So The Miz won. So does that count as a win for Raw? He's on Raw, isn't he? The Miz. So I think that counts. So because The Miz is on Raw, that was one win for Raw. Yeah. Yeah. It was a fun little pre-show match though, definitely. Then to kick off the show, we got the 5-on-5 men's Survivor Series match. Yes, with Team Raw up against Team SmackDown. Yes, of course, you know the teams. And this was okay. I think in terms of men's Survivor Series matches, this is definitely not going to be up there with the greats. It was okay. Let's get started with what happened. It was just it was a clean route for Raw. They just completely battered SmackDown as always. So Seth Rollins, he didn't even do anything. 6 minutes into the match, he goes for the greater good. He just does that, and he lets Sheamus Brogue kick him, and he lets him pin him. He had 1, 2, 3. So yeah, the easiest paycheck of Seth Rollins' career, right there. I think what they're doing is they're going to write him out of TV now because he's off to be with Becky because Becky's going to give birth soon. So yeah, I think that's how they're going to write him off TV for a few months. He's probably going to be back maybe for the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. We will see, but yeah, it's been a great year for Seth Rollins. He's had such a great year as his character. So yeah, yeah, that's how they wrote him at the match. So yeah, what was already 1 down, and then the match got started for a bit more, but then KO got eliminated by AJ Styles with a phenomenal forearm. Then King Corbin got eliminated by Matt Riddle. I think with a Bro Derek, or was it something else? So yeah, and then within 13 minutes, SmackDown were down to 2 men, Otis and Jey Uso. And I was like, for God's sake, man! I mean, this is it's gonna be another clean route, isn't it? So then Otis has a bit of oh yeah, moment, like he just starts bashing everyone. Has a bit of a big moments. Otis and Keith Lee have a bit of a big boy stare down, and they have a pretty cool little match for a little bit. But then Otis just starts battering everyone. It was really cool. He even picked up fucking Braun Strowman. So they are at least start giving Otis a bit of a push, making him look a bit strong after losing the briefcase to The Miz. But then no, Braun Strowman catches him from the ropes into a running power slam, and Jey Uso all by himself. For God's sake, it's Jey Uso 1 against 5. And Jey Uso puts up a brave fight as much as he can. He super kicks everyone. He's like super kicking him, and he's trying to go for it. And he tries to hit a frog splash on I think on Riddle or Sheamus, but no. Keith Lee catches Jey Uso in midair and counters it and then moves it into a spirit bomb. Boom! 1, 2, 3. Yep, clean sweep for Raw. Team SmackDown got beat in 19 minutes. The only people on Team SmackDown who put up any somewhat of a fight was Otis and Jey Uso. Seth Rollins just got eliminated straight away because, for the greater good. And KO and King Corbin didn't put up that much of a fight. They got eliminated quite easily. So poor Otis and Jey Uso, it was all up to them. But yeah, and no one from Team Raw got eliminated. So the survivors for Team Raw were AJ, Braun, Keith Lee, Riddle and Sheamus. They still had 5 guys left. It was ridiculous. But yeah, just as always, Raw always win the 5-on-5 men's match, don't they? The last time SmackDown won it, I think, was 2016. God, so yeah, that says it all. The Raw have won it the last 3 times now. Yeah. Okay, on to the next match. Yes, we had a tag team match. Yes, we had champion versus champion. Yes, we had Street Profits, SmackDown champions, going up against the New Day Raw tag team champions. And yeah, This was really good. This was a really good 13.5 minute tag team match. I really enjoyed it. You can tell these two teams are so evenly matched. They're so very similar in styles and character. The Street Profits are like a younger version of the New Day. Really, they're just full of energy, full of positive energy. They're like yeah, just crazy, and they match that in the ring. And I think the Street Profits really haven't had much of a chance to shine this year, despite the fact they've been Raw Tag Team Champions most of this year, and they swap belts, the SmackDown belts. With the New Day, they haven't had a chance to show it really because they've been stuck in a feud with Angel Garza and Andrade for most of the year. But they finally got to show what they can do in a tag team match with the New Day, and it was great. It was back and forth action. Kofi got some spots in. Angelo Dawkins had looked really good. Same with Montez Ford and Xavier Woods. It was just back and forth, man. Those are the best sort of tag team matches with it. It's just back and forth action. The hot tags. It was really, really, really good. I loved the finish, man. There were a lot of close falls. I think Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford. He just kept kicking out. He kicked out of an SOS. He kicked out of what that move Big E usually hits. I think it was like a modified big ending. He kicked out, and Kofi Kingston was just like, and it was really good. But then towards the end, they get the Street Profits get offense back in, and they hit a really cool move. I think it was on Xavier Woods. Like it's like a superplex, but Montez Ford did like a neck breaker as well. So it was like it looked really good, and yeah, Street Profits win. Really good win for them. I think this was kind of like maybe a passing of the torch match in a way, because the Street Profits are, like I said, a younger version of the New Day. So maybe this was like a passing of the torch, like the old guard versus the new guard, because the New Day have been around for 6 years now. So, and the Street Profits, they're still kind of new on the scene because this is their first year on the main roster, isn't it? So, really good match though. I think it was one of the better matches of the night without a doubt. Yeah, definitely. And then on to what was probably one of the weakest matches of the night. Yeah, probably what it was. Yes, we had Bobby Lashley, the Raw champion, with MVP Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin going up against Sami Zayn, the SmackDown Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, this was just it was a 7.5 minute match. I mean, it was a squash more or less. Bobby just kept chasing Sami Zayn around the ring. Sami's just kept trying to get out of it, like going to members of the Hurt Business, but they were all blocking his access, going, "No, you get back in that ring, boy." And it was just a squash, really. Sami did get a little bit of offense in, but every time he tried to get any offense sustained, Bobby just shut him down. The superplexes, power moves. There was a really cool spot where Sami went for a clothesline, and Bobby just powered through the clothesline, and Sami was like, "Whoa!" So it was really good. But towards the end, yeah, Bobby just hit a full Nelson, and within like 5 seconds, yeah, Sami Zayn tapped out, and that was it. No interference from the Hurt, no interference from Retribution, which I thought there would be. Nope, Bobby Lashley just won clean in 7.5 minutes. It was fine, but yeah, I kind of felt bad for Sami Zayn, man. He was outnumbered 4-1. I mean, what was he supposed to do up against Bobby Lashley? Poor Sami Zayn, man. But hopefully he gets a good feud heading into TLC as IC champion, yeah. And we'll see what's next for the Hurt Business. Maybe a match of Retribution, yeah. Then on to the next match. Yes, we had a champion versus champion singles match. Yes, we had the boss, Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Champion, going up against Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion. This was good. This was a very good match. Of course, it was going to be. You know, these two know each other so well. They had a great match at Extreme Rules. They had a pretty good match too at SummerSlam, and they continued it here. You know, they have such good chemistry. Asuka and Sasha have such contrasting styles, but they work so well together. The quick tempo, the quick pace, the constant reversing of pinfalls, of submissions. It was really, really good. They just work so well together. These two, I honestly think these two could main event a pay-per-view. They really could. They're so good together, Sasha and Asuka, that the two of the best women's wrestlers in the company right now. You know, since Charlotte and Becky are out, they're up there. Sasha and Asuka, they really are. And this was a good match. It was 13 minutes. I wish it could have been a bit longer. They had like a really good 20-minute match at Extreme Rules, but no, it wasn't to be. But still, the finish was inventive, I will say. Yeah, and Sasha won with a really cheeky win. I think it was a roll up or a backslide. Yeah, she got Asuka after a really competitive match. Yeah, Sasha hit I think it was a backslide or a roll up pin, either of the two, and she won. And Asuka was like, what? So yeah, Sasha wins. I was hoping Asuka would win because I had it in my predictions, but no, Sasha won. Fair enough. It was her first pay-per-view as SmackDown Women's Champion. I thought Carmella maybe was going to come out and cost Sasha the match, or Bayley setting up a match for TLC, but no. It was a good match though, yeah. But I do think Asuka needed this win a bit more because she's been a bit since as Raw Women's Champion recently. She hasn't done a lot, has she? Apart from that very match yet. What was it? I think it was at Hell in a Cell or Clash of Champions, yeah. So I think Asuka needed this win a bit more than Sasha, but whatever. It was still a fine match. It was still a very solid 13-minute match, definitely, yeah. And then we got a 5-on-5 Women's Survivor Series elimination match. Yes, we got Team Raw and Team SmackDown. You know the team members, so I'm not going to go into detail. I think this was definitely better than the men's, if I'm being honest. It was a bit longer. It was a bit more even too. It wasn't a clean sweep for Raw. Both team members got eliminated quite early. So let's get started. So early on, Peyton Royce gets eliminated. So early on, Bayley, she's the first person to go for Team SmackDown. Peyton Royce with she actually hit pins Bayley clean with a finisher. That was a bit of a surprise. Peyton Royce, go Peyton Royce, yeah. So Bayley gets eliminated pretty early on, but then Natalya eliminates Peyton Royce pretty soon after with a sharpshooter, and then Lacey Evans eliminates Natalya with whatever finisher she's got, and then there's a bit more of a match for a little while, but then Ruby Riott gets eliminated by Shayna Baszler. I'm not sure what move. But I felt sorry for Lana, man. Lana, Team Raw were like, no, get away, Lana, get away. So they just went, get on the steps. They were bullying Lana. So Lana, for literally most of this match, Lana was just stood on the steel steps going. I felt so bad for her, but I had a feeling she was definitely going to be involved in the ending, because I was like, they're setting something up with Lana here. I was like, oh dear. But anyway, so yeah. So it's not looking good for Team SmackDown at the minute, because Ruby Riott gets eliminated by Shayna Baszler. Then Lacey Evans gets eliminated by Liv Morgan. So yeah, it's not looking good for Team SmackDown at all. But then Bianca Belair, who put in a hell of a shift in this match. She was really good in this match, Bianca Belair. I think she was the MVP for SmackDown. She's really good, Bianca Belair. It's like, please push her, Vince, next year. Maybe she could win the Women's Royal Rumble. Anyway, Bianca Belair, she had a bit of a... but Shayna Baszler gets disqualified because of something she did. So she got eliminated. And then Nia Jax and Bianca Belair, they have a bit of a tussle outside the ring, but then they both get counted out. And so that means Lana wins it for Team Raw, because she was the last surviving member. And Lana's in the ring going, yes, yes! And Nia Jax is like, what? She couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, man. So Lana wins it for Team Raw when she did absolutely nothing the entire match. She had a bit of a scuffle earlier on, I think, with Natalya or Ruby Riott. But yeah, Lana, for most of this match, she just stood outside the ring like, what? So yeah, that was that. Lana wins it for Team Raw when she did absolutely nothing. So yeah, Raw won both Survivor Series matches, but I do think this match was more entertaining than the men's, because at least it wasn't a clean sweep. At least it was competitive. Both sides had losses, obviously, and that obviously towards the end, Lana was the only surviving member for Team Raw, so at least it was more competitive. But the look on Nia Jax's face, she was just like, I thought for a minute she was going to put Lana through another table, like for a 10th time, but no, she didn't. But yeah, I think this was definitely more entertaining than the men's. So yeah. Then on to the final match of the night. Yes, we had Roman Reigns, the SmackDown Universal Champion, with Paul Heyman, going up against the big Scottish bastard, yes, Drew McIntyre. Hey, woo! Yes, the Raw WWE Champion, because of course Drew won the belt back on Raw the previous week from Randy to win the belt back and become a two-time Raw champion. I did predict this match could happen. I didn't think Randy and Roman was going to go ahead. I thought it was going to be Drew and Roman, because I thought Drew was going to win the belt back, and he did. And this was a really, really good match. It was the longest match of the night at 24 minutes. It was great. It was always going to be great. Roman and Drew, these two big boys. Two of Vince's golden boys, pretty much the two chosen ones, more or less. The two faces of the company going head to head. And it was really good. It was a really good back and forth match. It was very even for the first half. So, so Drew starts like frustrates Roman pretty early on, like overpowering him and throwing him out the ring. But then Roman gets back into it. He starts to hit a bunch of his own moves. And then Roman starts to dominate the match for a little while until Drew comes back into it. And then it's like back and forth action, like Samoan drops. Drew's hitting like this massive like belly to back, what was it, belly to belly suplexes. It was really good, just back and forth action. I really enjoyed this match because the dynamic was so cool, seeing what Roman does as this heel character. Because he's been facing Jey Uso since he came back, but this was like Roman up against a bigger opponent, and this wasn't a squash. Even though Roman did dominate a lot of this match, Drew did still definitely get a lot of offense in. And then towards the end, near the end, Roman hit two. This was really cool. Roman hit two Samoan drops through a table, and then as Drew's getting up, he spears Drew through the barricade. I was like, oh my god! And then he rolls Drew back in the ring. 1, 2, and Drew kicks out, and Roman's just like, what the hell? Like, he kicked Drew, fucking hell. So Drew kicked out of 2 Samoan drops through a table, and then a spear outside the ring. Drew kicked out. I couldn't believe it, and neither could Roman Reigns. I was like, oh my god. So they really are, even though Roman is dominating a lot of this match, they still are pushing Drew. It was this big guy, like literally very few people can put away apart from Randy this year. And then I think Drew gets up, we have a bit more of a scuffle, but then Roman, boom, hits another spear. And then I think he hits another, that's another spear, 2 spears, 1, 2, ooh, Drew kicks out again. I was like, what? That's 2 spears Drew McIntyre's kicked out of. So say what you will, they are putting him over strong in this match. And Roman's just like, what the hell have I got to do? So then Drew gets back up, but then Roman, I think he counters a spear though, and then boom, he hits a claymore. I was like, yes, but he couldn't go for the pin in time because the ref, Roman hit the ref as he went down. So as Drew tried to go for the pin, the ref was knocked down. So as the ref's knocked down, Roman hits a low blow on Drew when the ref's not looking. Fucking hell, Roman. And then Jey Uso comes out, boom, hits a super kick. And then Roman, I think he goes for a guillotine choke. That's probably his new finisher now. He's got Drew in, and it looks like Drew's passing out, but then Drew gets up, and I said, what? And Roman's like, what the hell? But then no, because Drew succumbs to it, and he collapses back down, and Roman wins via submission. Really good match though, and even though Roman did win, it did make Drew look so strong because he kicked out of 2 spears. He went through the table and he still kicked out. Roman just couldn't put him away. The only way Roman could beat him was to cheat, a low blow and interference from Jey Uso. That's the only way he could beat Drew McIntyre. So it did make Drew look very strong in defeat. The fact that Roman had to be dirty to win. But it still made Drew look really strong, and honestly, someone say maybe Drew had the match won when he hit the Claymore on Roman, but it knocked the ref out. So yeah, it was a really good back and forth match, and it was definitely better than their matches they had last year. At WrestleMania 35 and Stomping Grounds. Yeah, this was a lot better because Roman's a heel now and Drew's the face, and I think this was just a much stronger match overall, definitely. So yeah, Roman wins, and I believe that means Raw still won the night. I think Raw won 4-3. Yeah, because Miz won the Battle Royal at the beginning on the pre-show, if that counts. So either it was 3-3 or the Miz won it for Raw because he won on the pre-show. So I think either Raw won 4-3 or it was a tie at 3-3 if you don't count the pre-show. But yeah, that was the main show. It was solid. I think the main event of Roman and Drew, really good. The women's elimination match was really good. Sasha and Asuka was solid. I just wasn't a massive fan of the ending. Street Profits and New Day was really good. But the other matches weren't so good. Yes, I think it was still a very solid show. But then of course the show didn't finish there. Then we got to finish off. Yes, we got this man's 30th anniversary, his final farewell celebration. So yes. Tons of legends come to the ring. We had like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Shane McMahon. There were loads, so many legends. They all came to the ring, and then we got a big video package, celebrating the Undertaker's career. It was great. I think it was like a Metallica song. It was really really cool. They just played this massive tribute to him. And then we get back to the ring, and it's Vince McMahon. I'm like, and all the legends have gone. I'm like, where have they gone? But then Vince McMahon just cuts a promo going, this man, for 30 years, he's been the pinnacle of this business. No one will ever match his career. The Undertaker. And then the Undertaker comes out, his full dead man get up. There's one last big entrance. It was great. I was getting chills because we haven't seen the Undertaker do his in-ring entrance. Since I think it was Was it Extreme Rules last year? Yeah, his in-ring full entrance. So it was great to see him in-ring again, in the costume. Oh, it was fantastic. I was getting chills just seeing him come out again. It's what this man's meant to the wrestling industry for 30 years. It's incredible. Yeah, no one will ever match what he's done for this business, The Undertaker. It's one of the greatest of all time, without a shadow of a doubt. And then he cuts a promo, and it's like 30 years. I have been in this business like the Phenom, the dead man, but now it is time to truly rest in peace. And that was really it. It was like a 2-minute promo, and that was it. And then he gets in the ring. He does, and we see like a hologram of Paul Bearer with the urn. That was a nice little callback to Paul Bearer, because he was such a big part of the Undertaker, wasn't he, back in the early days? And that's it. He looks around for a bit, and then he leaves the ring, and he does that little look back up the ramp and with all the smoke. And I was really hoping, are we going to get The Fiend coming out? Are we going to get Sting? Maybe, but no. No, we get the copyright card, and then boom, the show ends, and that's it. So while I am pretty disappointed we didn't get The Fiend coming out and attacking Undertaker, because I think that would have been so cool, but no, we didn't get Sting. No, I think that was it. This was it now. I think this definitely was the last time we will see The Undertaker in character. And if that is true, if this truly was his final farewell as this character, this is the last time we're ever going to see The Undertaker, then all I can say is, Mark Calloway, The Undertaker, thank you so much. You have been an absolute a legend. 30 fucking years, and it's incredible. Of course, Survivor Series 1990 making his debut. Survivor Series 2020 making his retirement. 30 full years, full swing. It's perfect. He didn't, and yeah, while I was disappointed we didn't, no Fiend, no Sting, nothing like that. But yeah, it still was really cool. I just wish he could have cut a bit of a longer promo. The promo he cut was so short. It was like 4 or 5 lines, and then boom, that was it. I think he could have cut a slightly longer promo. It's his 30th anniversary, his final farewell, but whatever. They kept it short and sweet, and it was all about the spectacle. The lighting, the smoke. It was still fantastic, and what this man has meant to our industry. What he did, going undefeated for 21 years at WrestleMania. The streak, his matches he had with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, CM Punk, Edge, Ric Flair, the matches he had, the feud he had with Brock Lesnar. This man's career, it's just incredible how he kept this character relevant for 30 years. The Dead Man, the American Badass, and coming back as the Dead Man. It's just incredible. And if you've watched that, I highly recommend you watch the Last Ride documentary. It's just incredible. He is one of a kind, Mark Calloway. Happy retirement, dude. I'm sure he's going to play some part in the future WWE. I've heard he might be a coach at the Performance Center. We will see. Maybe he'll be like backstage helping Vince, or he'll be on the booking team. We will see. But he's in his retirement. So whatever he does next, I wish him the very best of luck. Yeah. So Undertaker, you truly were the GOAT. Thank you, Taker. Truly. So yeah, guys, that has been my Survivor Series review. It was a solid show. I thought the show was very solid. The men's Survivor Series match was a bit of a letdown. Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn, nah. But everything else on the show was great. And of course, Taker's final farewell was full of spectacle. Even though the legend kind of disappeared and Taker's promo was a bit short, but it still was fantastic. So well done. So yeah, guys, and 30 years from the Taker. All I can say is, thank you, Taker. It truly has been a hell of a ride you've taken us on, man. Thank you so much. What a career. What a fucking career. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll be back probably in mid-December with Laura for my final prediction video of the year. Yes, TLC. Tables, Ladders and Chairs. So thank you for watching, guys. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye. And thank you, Taker. Woo!